When Guilty Gear Strive launched in June of 2021, it attracted a massive audience and was one of the most successful fighting game launches in recent memory. With an audience of 30,000 concurrent players at launch, Guilty Gear became one of the most played fighting games in the world and managed to hold on to most of that even after the first month. First month drop off is an extremely common thing within video games and even more so within fighting games. Guilty Gear managing to retain over 10,000 current players even after the first month drop off was a huge accomplishment and one that other developers would look to replicate. DNF Duel, on the other hand, also had a successful launch. It actually started with over 10,000 players, hitting 12,000 on launch day. The difference is that in the second month, DNF dropped all the way down to under 1,000 players. This is something that Guilty Gear Strive managed to completely avoid with their excellent communication and marketing for what was the future of the game. 6 weeks after the release of Guilty Gear, we got our first DLC character announcement in Gold Lewis Dickinson. And even more than that, we got a complete roadmap going all the way into 2022 to give us an idea of what kind of things would be on the horizon. I really don't think it can be overstated the kind of effect that level of communication and hype building has on the audience of a game. People need a reason to come back to the game. There's going to be lots of points where they get tired of the gameplay, they're tired of the character balance, they need to know that changes are coming, and they really just need a way to bring back old and new audiences every time people feel that way. It's only been a couple of days, but even just as a player, I can already see the attitude shift and the difference in the player population that DNF Duel has been experiencing since the announcement at Arc World Tour. Even just aside from anecdotally, you can see in the graphs that we're back at over 100 concurrent players each day. Again, it's only been a few days and time will tell if this momentum can hold, but think about how little was actually announced in order to bring this player base back. We got a 2-second pre-rendered video of Spectre and confirmation, which is very important, that she was going to be a DLC release, as well as a balance patch coming out in December, which we still don't even have a date for. This patch is not out yet, and players are already coming back to the game. I think the narrative that the game was dead and that the developers had abandoned it was very overblown and really perpetuated by things like Twitter and other influencers talking about how they felt about it. But you can't blame anyone for seeing the state that the game was in, seeing the player base, feeling how long it could take to find matches, and just kind of agreeing with it. Again, is this momentum going to be sustainable? Are we going to get other announcements besides Spectre? Is the balance patch going to be a net positive overall? We're going to have to wait to see the answer to these questions. But overall, DNF is going in a better direction than it was before, and it's primarily thanks to the announcements. If DNF wants to keep up this momentum, they need to take a page out of Strive's book and continue to communicate with their audience. At this point, it is no longer optional to communicate with the audience and your player base. You have to keep them updated. You have to keep them interested. As much as anyone else, I'm a fan of DNF Duel and I want to see this game succeed. Let's hope they can continue to take a page out of Strive's book and keep the communication and updates coming.